Flash. Whoa. What's up, everybody? Juan here. He's back. I haven't gone anywhere, but I haven't done it in the car in a while because we have been crazy busy. Denver Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con, Colorado Springs Comic-Con. I still have interviews coming out from all of those, plus all the regular stuff we're doing. So it's been a while. But I wanted to come back with the Flash's season premiere, which was a couple days ago. I just had the chance to watch it last night, and it was cool. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I might be a little bit more hyped than normal because of what this episode represents, which is the start of the Crisis on Infinite Earths. Now, it's not the start of the crossovers yet, but Monitor shows up at the very end, spoilers, and he gives Barry a message. And so I think that kind of kicks off what we have to look forward to. The villain in this episode was kind of a throwaway villain. It was a dude who accidentally created a black hole, and it was kind of terrorizing the city. He was a YouTuber, social media guy, and he created this thing, a tiny black hole. He touched it, and catatonic. He couldn't speak. I'm sure he could hear and kind of comprehend what was going on. But he was in a mental hospital, and he couldn't do anything else. He was just there. And so it was up to the team to figure out how to close the black holes without killing this dude. And that's really all it was. The villain was a throwaway, and it was just an end, ways to an ends to a means, I think is what they say. It was there to serve the purpose of moving everything else forward. And by that I mean there were about 3 different storylines. The first one involves Iris and Barry. They're both still dealing with the death of their daughter Iris. It's weird because Iris is coming back at some point. She's gonna be born. I don't think that they changed the timeline to erase her completely from history, but it sounds like it's not going to be the same Iris. And so the death of, even if it is the same Iris, the death of a daughter, I don't even know how a parent goes through such things. And so I think they were masking their grief with the fact that they knew that she would be back again in the future, which makes it so they couldn't grieve, so they couldn't get over somebody who was there making memories with them who died. Because you have to grieve no matter what. And so that's kind of that was kind of the moral of what was going on, and what Iris and Barry learned in this episode is that no matter what, even if Nora is going to come back to their lives in the future, they have to grieve for the Nora that they knew and the Nora that died last season. And so this whole episode revolves partially around those two. Barry has buried himself with work. He's been at Star Labs this whole summer, you find out. He's just been inundating himself with work so he doesn't have to think about it. And Iris has just been pushing and shoving the emotions down so that she doesn't have to think about it. But that comes to a head, and they figure out that they can't move forward unless they hold the burden and the feeling together with each other, and they grieve properly. So that was one. The second storyline involved, which leads into what I think is going to be the villain of this first half of the season. Kaitlyn is having some problems with Killer Frost, in that Killer Frost won't come out again. So Ralph comes back from being a private eye. Often he's been doing like 007 kind of stuff, but he comes back and he helps Kaitlyn through this process to figure out why Killer Frost isn't coming out when they need her. And at the very end of the day, it seems that Killer Frost is sad about being kind of stuffed down into Kaitlyn, and not being ever in control or being able to kind of live as well. She's good. She says that she's good for a fight, and then she goes back into her cave. And so it'll be cool to find the unique bond that they'll have will come out more, because it seems like Killer Frost is going to be taking the wheel, as they said, a little bit more often, which means that you're going to get more Killer Frost and Kaitlyn, which is cool. I think that's it. It's essentially two people living in the one body, where like Firestorm was two people living in one body for a very short amount of time. They could separate, and they could go live their separate lives, and that's harder for Kaitlyn because she's not like that. But she goes to visit an old friend from college. His mother has just died from cancer. He says that he has a cure, but his cure involves dark matter. And so Kaitlyn does not want to help him, because she feels like if the choice between just being okay with dying or possibly turning into a metahuman and kind of forcing that onto people, she's not going to do it. And so at the end of the episode, you see this dude just distraught and angry, and he's purchased dark matter from the black market. He injects himself with it, and because he has the marker, I think it's like a 98% chance he's going to get this form of cancer because he has the marker. You see that 98% go down, 78%, and then all of a sudden his arm starts changing and shit goes kind of crazy. I can't remember the name, if it's Bloodsport or Bloodshot, something like that, but that's going to be the villain, I assume, heading into the rest of the first half of this season, which leads into the Crisis, which I am crazy excited for. I'm not a big DC guy. I haven't read a ton of, as much as I read comics, I haven't read a ton of back comics. So Crisis is new to me, and that makes it fun, because I get to play around a little bit more with, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow, The Flash, Black Lightning, Supergirl, everybody. They all have a piece of this puzzle. They all have a piece of what's going on in this crossover, and that's cool. And the Monitor comes back at the very end of this episode. You see we knew already, but they didn't know in universe, that originally Barry was supposed to die in 2023. The Monitor comes and he tells them that that's been moved up to December 10th, 2019, which happens to exactly coincide with the Arrow, with the Flash's part in the crossover. That is what I think is the very last episode before it goes into winter break, which is only half of the crossover. The second half will end after the winter break. So I think there's 2 or 3 episodes that will comprise of the first half of the crossover event. December 10th will end, and I believe January 10th or 11th, somewhere around there, it starts the rest of the crossover and finishes it. So the Monitor comes in and he tells Barry, you're going to die. There's no way around it. The Flash has to die in order for this universe to keep going forward. So I think what's going to happen, and who knows, I think the Flash will die on December 10th, 2019, and they'll find a way to bring him back in January once the crossover comes back. But I'm excited because this represents the start of a very exciting year, especially when it comes to Arrow, because it's going to be its last season. So I'm excited and sad for that, but I'm excited for everything that we have going. So that's my review of the first episode. I've got a Walking Dead one coming soon here pretty soon too, which I think was really good too. But reach out. You can always leave us a voicemail, 970-573-6148. Check out all the interviews we've been doing. Emmy Raver Lampman, Jim Beaver, Legion M just came out. Albert Wen came out today. Lock and Key interviews coming out tomorrow with Gabriel Rodriguez. There is a lot of stuff coming out, a ton of interviews. We just put out episode 200 a couple days ago, and there's more coming. Thank you to everybody who has supported us through the years, left us a voicemail, left us an email, told your friend about it, downloaded an episode, listened to an episode, just anything that you could do to help. You've been amazing, and we greatly appreciate it, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. So do all the rest of the boys. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. I'm in the car, even though it's crazy snowing outside, but I'm parked at work, and so be careful, be safe out there. Hopefully you guys are watching The Flash, and hopefully you guys are excited as I am. We'll see you later.